I got cut off. They said that we had to roll a commercial. Come on. Let's keep this going. So here I am, back on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Thomas, per usual. What I was saying there in the first segment of the show as far as McGregor and Cerrone, basically McGregor and Cerrone fighting McGregor will be the largest audience that could possibly see Donald Cerrone fight. And Donald Cerrone deserves to be seen. He's been seen more times than anybody to the hardcore MMA fans. But to the casuals, that this new era in the UFC, this ESPN audience, they were introduced to him, and it was perfectly set up that if Cerrone were to win on the main event on national TV, maybe he'll get Conor. And I really hope he does. I feel like that's the right fight to make. I feel like that fight makes a whole lot of sense, and I think we'll see it. I think that it's going to happen. So, boxing-wise, there was a big fight that took place Saturday night as well. And I was going to record this episode a few days ago, and this segment of the show a few days ago, and I ran out of time. I realized I had something to do, and mid-episode, mid-segment, I had to stop the recording, which sucked. And I had to delete it off the official Thomas Take Sports Podcast YouTube channel, but here I am. I'm back again, and I want to really give my time to this topic. Floyd Money Mayweather in attendance while watching his greatest rival, Manny Pacquiao, fight in the ring and pretty much decimate, dominate, whatever word you want to associate with what Manny Pacquiao did to Adrian Broner. Not whatever word, but whatever sports-oriented word you want to use for Manny fighting Adrian Broner the way that he did. I saw vintage Manny. I saw a fast Manny. I saw an elusive Manny. I saw a Manny at age 40 that really does have some stuff left in the tank, some stuff in the basement, as once said by the greatest fictional heavyweight champion in boxing history, Rocky Balboa. Manny's still got some stuff in the basement. There's still some stuff there. There is still the eye of the tiger, if you will. And Manny Pacquiao is a guy that, outside of Floyd Mayweather, he's the best boxer of his era. It pains me to say that because I'm not really a Floyd fan for obvious reasons. He's obnoxious. He's a little annoying. He's a little bit of an attention-seeking, just buffoon on occasion. And Manny has represented himself as a champion of boxing, as a sportsman. He's been fantastic. The guy could run for president in the Philippines and would win easily. He's a highly respected individual, and it's obvious why. He has integrity. He's mild-mannered. He's soft-spoken. Never really has a bad thing to say, you know, and there could be things that he could say involving the business of boxing that people would understand, but he just leaves it alone. He's just going about his business. Really, Manny Pacquiao only cares about his performance inside the ring, which have been pretty damn good. Outside of the Floyd Mayweather loss, Manny Pacquiao officially has one other loss on his record, and it was one of the most egregious boxing decisions of all time. Featured Pacquiao and Jeff Horn. Terrible. One of the worst decisions I've ever seen, and it was on full display on national television, on ESPN, with the world watching. Manny Pacquiao beat the brakes off of Jeff Horn, and Jeff Horn get that decision. Jeff Horn taking Manny Pacquiao's belt, one of Manny Pacquiao's many belts that he's had over his career, and walk out of the ring with it wrapped around his shoulder. It was disgusting. It was pitiful. And really, there could be so many conspiracies as to why I believe Manny Pacquiao didn't get the nod when he should have. Boxing was very frustrated, and I say boxing almost as if it's a person, but the higher powers that be, the promoters in boxing, were very frustrated that Floyd and Manny took so long to get made because it did the sport a huge disservice.
And then the fight itself did the sport a huge disservice for its lack of entertainment. For a fight to be in the waiting, for a fight to be in waiting for that many years, and for the fight to transpire in the way that it did with really no climactic action. And Floyd really coasting to victory in that fight in the way that no one wanted to see. Even Floyd fans wanted to see a slugfest. And whether that meant Floyd winning or losing, they didn't care. People wanted to see Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather do what the great boxing rivalries have always done. They let go of their strategy and they go to war. And we didn't see that. We saw a tactical performance from Mayweather, leading him to go 49-0 or 48-0, pardon me. And Manny Pacquiao really just kind of see where he went from there. And where Floyd has went from there, he fought Andre Berto, and then he went into the retirement, and he fought Conor McGregor. And that fight was presumably the highest grossing pay-per-view of all time. North American Gate states that it's Floyd versus Manny, but Worldwide Gate says that it's Floyd versus Conor, which is truly remarkable. Shows the drawing power of Floyd, shows the drawing power of Conor to go from MMA to boxing and produce that many pay-per-view buys. And somewhat of a spectacle of an event, to say the least, for sure, but the fight was far better than Floyd versus Manny, and I never thought I'd say that sentence in my entire life. But it's 2019, and here we are. But now there's a possibility that there's a door open with the Manny Pacquiao that we just saw. There's a door open for Floyd to fight Manny. There's a door open that the fans are saying, well, this Manny, if we saw this Manny during the Floyd fight, could Manny beat Floyd? There's always that debate. There's always that question in the fights. There's always that what if, with Floyd and Manny, because Manny showed prior to his knockout loss to Juan Manuel Marquez that he could be up to snuff to beat Floyd. He did have that speed style, that southpaw style, that Tasmanian devil style that many people thought could beat Floyd, that swarming, boxing, combination punching style. And really, Manny didn't fight his fight in the fight with Floyd, and people are saying that that's due to the fact that he had a collarbone injury. I think Manny froze in there. I think he was overmatched tactically in that fight on that night, May 5th, I believe, 2015, if I'm not mistaken, or May 1st. It was in May of 2015 that they fought, and it feels like decades ago that fight took place because it took so long to get made. Where now we saw Manny that we had seen prior to being knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez, and the fans are re-energized. They're refocused on this idea of Manny and Floyd fighting again. And really, I've said this to a lot of boxing fans over the last few years. When Floyd and Manny decided to finally get it on and get into the ring and fight each other, it happened at a time where I thought they should have fought for the second time at that point, not the first time. So really, we should be talking about Floyd versus Manny 3, not Floyd versus Manny 2, in my opinion. But that's not the way it went. And for whatever reasons we want to attribute to that, we won't even go down that road anymore because it's so old and just not necessary. I do want to see this fight. I do want to see Floyd versus Manny again. Because I feel like boxing needs it. I feel like boxing deserves it. I feel like it's been a fight that has been owed to the boxing fans for quite a long time, much like the first fight was owed to the boxing fans for a while. Boxing needs these guys to fight again. Now, regardless as to whether this fight will generate the same hype that the first one did, I definitely don't think so. Is it a hard sell? No, I don't think it is, because Floyd is Floyd, and Manny is Manny, but it is a harder sell due to the fact of what took place in the first fight. But boxing fans, combat sports fans, love to have a narrative, whether it's good or bad, heading into any fight. And that narrative makes people think, well, I kind of want to see this. I kind of want to see if he can do it this time. I kind of want to see if Floyd can beat Manny a second time, or I want to see if Manny can do it this time. That narrative, that speculation is like pouring gasoline on a fire. The more gasoline you pour on a fire, the more it builds and builds and grows, as we all know. So I am thinking that this is a fight that I want to see. I am thinking that it's great to discuss it. And I'm thinking that the probability of it happening is very likely due to the fact that it's happened once before and due to the fact that Floyd loves money. He loves to get paid, and Manny Pacquiao wants to get that loss off his record. And I feel like that is the Manny Pacquiao that we all know and love. I don't know what it was. I don't know competitively if he just wasn't there that night, but I feel like we are getting the throwback Manny back. This is the last hurrah of Manny Pacquiao that we can expect. He knows that these are the last few fights that he's got, and he wants to make the most of them. Whereas Floyd is retired, 3 times over in his career. Is this the fight to pull Floyd out of retirement? Do I think Floyd will fight Manny? I don't think Floyd will fight Manny. I think Floyd will probably ride off into the sunset, do these circus events and Risen and get $9 million to fight a 125-pound kickboxer in boxing, mind you, and just move on with his life. And that's really it. But would I like to see this fight? If you're asking me if I'd like to see the fight, 100%. 100%. I'm Ryan Thomas. That was the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. Manny Pacquiao decimates the classless, ignorant, buffoon, mini Floyd Mayweather, Adrian Broner. What a moron this guy is. The way he acted after his loss, after being decimated for over 12 rounds, was just pure embarrassment for himself, for boxing, for Showtime Sports. I look forward to never watching that guy fight. I know I'm not entertained by that whatsoever. Take care, everybody.